Hi, I'm Micah Frankel. Welcome to the Cage Minds preview show for School of Hard Knocks Boxing this Saturday in Hobbs from the Corral Arena. It's going to be a stacked night of action. The main event, Herrera, 1-0, taking on Michael Andrews, 2-3. Both fighters will be joining us here to preview their upcoming battle, learn a little bit about each guy as well. Co-main event's going to be a bare-knuckle boxing match at 160 pounds as Tavares Teague takes on Sterling Lentz. Kenneth Jemerson is going to look to hand Abraham Pettis his first professional loss. Albuquerque's Pettis, a Olympic qualifier and a devastating professional debut just at the Legacy Boxing Promotions card. Herman Rendon is taking on Your Highness Raquez. Both fighters are unbeaten. Manuel Rubalcaba, a 39-fight vet, is taking on unbeaten JJ Medina. Augustine Perez, who also will be buying a little bit, is going to talk about his fight with Josh Reyes. Anthony Hill takes on Johnny Soto. And for Anthony Hill, who I just saw at the Legacy Boxing Promotions card, on a couple days' notice, gets this fight on 2 weeks. Maybe we'll see the best Anthony Hill yet. Justin Thornton is taking on Ysidro Portillo, and Smiley John Herrera is back to take on Alex Hippolito. That's this Saturday night in Hobbs, all brought to you by Isidro Castillo in School of Hard Knocks promotion. First up, we're going to be talking to Augustine Perez. Thank you for the time, sir. It's been over 3 years.
Yep, it has. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready. This is probably the best shape I've ever been for a fight. Amateur and pro. So I'm ready to go. I'm hungry, but I'm ready to go.
3 years. Tell us about the layoff.
Well, I had a fight coming up soon after my last fight, and of course, I had to due to an injury that almost laid me off for over a year. Recovered from that, had some therapy. I'm good after that, and then my plan was to be busy last year, 2020, but we all know what happened. COVID messed that up for everybody, and after COVID, when fights started going on, I actually been trying to get fights for the past year. For one reason or another, they wouldn't take the fight or just couldn't get fights. And so finally, here towards the end of this year, I was finally able to get a fight. So I've been in the gym training, trying to get a fight for the past year after COVID.
During the day, away from boxing, a Roswell deputy, I believe, right?
Yeah, detective actually, but yeah.
What makes you want to pursue boxing on the side?
Boxing is something I've always loved and had a passion for, ever since I was, I've been doing this since I was 12 on and off, obviously. Didn't have a big amateur career, but I've been more than half of my life in the gym, whether it be sparring, training, staying busy. So it's something I just always wanted to do. And, after just a few fights, like I said, I wanted to stay busy in 2020 and get as much as I can. And, but fortunately that didn't go through. But boxing is just something that, when you have a love and a passion for it, that's something that I've always wanted to do. And that's why that's why we're here again for Fight Week this week.
Obviously, it's a full-time job being a detective that takes a lot of your time. So how hard is that managing the schedule to give some time to this side project?
Well, I will say it does take some sacrificing, you know what I mean? And having to wake up extra early to get those morning runs before work, and the good thing is sometimes I'm blessed where I'm working at because they let me get a little PT time in the morning, so I get my morning work, whether it'd be strength and conditioning workout or my long distance running or sprints, and then after work then go to the boxing gym. So I have a full schedule, so there's really not much time to rest, so. But it's one of those things that just got to discipline myself and I make it happen. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse. I just make it happen. Even though I'm tired most of the time, but I know what boxing entails and I know all the hard work that you need to do to prepare. and you know, and I was willing to do the work.
You've shared the card before with Angel coming up this weekend. You're sharing the card with Abraham. How special is that being on the same card as one of your nephews?
That was very special. I'm excited. You know, just as I shared the same card with Angel, you know, it's the memory, you know, that you hold on to forever. And you know, and since we are a boxing family, it's nice to share that same night with family, and just to keep holding on to those memories, you know. And just as it is, like when I've sparred with Angel in the past, you know, and now with Hammer, you know, actually just a couple of weeks ago was the first time I sparred him. So it's memories that you never forget. You know, I mean, great memories, great times with family. You know, nothing but love for him. So I'm excited to be on the same card with him.
3 years away. What kind of adjustments, developments, improvements should we be expecting from your game?
Overall, everything, to be honest with you. I'm a smarter fighter than I was since my last 2 pro fights. Technique, the defense, I'm overall just everything really. You know, with everybody's gonna see a new me. You know, I feel this is the best shape I've been in ever in my whole life, and just overall everything, technique, everything is on point, and just been working on everything, counter punching. I mean, being able to adjust to different styles as I'm sparring different people, and it's just overall I've improved quite a bit, and I'm excited to show that this Saturday.
The specific matchup taking on Josh Reyes. What have you learned about your opponent, trying to figure out what he'll be doing?
You know what? Not much, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he's a southpaw. I got experience sparring against southpaws. The only thing I've heard from people in the past that have fought him, all they told me was you're gonna need to pressure him, and that honestly that's it. I haven't seen no video. And really the way I'm at right now, I'm just prepared for anything. So any style he brings, I'll be able to adjust. I feel that I'll be able to adjust. So really, that's the only thing I've heard. And but whatever he brings, I feel I'm more than ready to adjust to whatever style he brings to the table.
Obviously, this has been a passion of yours. How did it develop with you and your brothers, this passion for the game of boxing?
You know, I just got to say it. It started out with I know my oldest brother Jordan. You know, I mean, he used to talk about boxing and just growing up, and he used to go to the boxing gym in El Paso, and then me growing up watching, you know, fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez, and our father used to take me and my brother out to go see his fights, you know, and on TV, of course, you know, but we used to have to go like to the swap meets to see him, you know, pay $1 or something to watch him. But the love grew ever since then, you know, and my brother Aaron, he used to always make me he put on the gloves, and he used to make me fight all his friends, you know, and at the time, you know, I was a little kid, you know, I mean, you know, 10 years old, and he used to make me fight all his, put the gloves on and make me spar all his 14 and 15-year-old friends. And so it kind of grew up like that in the streets with him. And then as we got a little older, I started getting into boxing. Then when I turned amateur, some years afterwards, and my brother Aaron and Jordan both were training me, and then I had fights under them as an amateur. And it just kind of took off from there, you know. With my nephews, Angel and Ham, you know, they've been training since they were, you know, since they could walk. And so it just grew from there, you know, and we became where we are today, each and every one of us.
One last time, what's your expectations for Saturday night?
I expect a tough fight. I expect a challenge. I expect back and forth action. And I expect nothing less, because, you know, I've never been one to shy away from a challenge, and this is why I wanted this fight. And I'm ready for anything, and I think this could possibly be fight of the night.
The main event, Ira Herrera joining us right now, taking on Michael Andrews. Sir, thank you for the time, first off, and how you feeling a couple days out?
I mean, I feel good. It's kind of just being consistent, in my opinion, and I've definitely been consistent. I've been training for several years now, You know what I mean? It kind of just becomes muscle memory. Boxing's such a reactionary sport. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to outthink yourself too much. You know what I mean? You kind of want to do what you want to do in camp. So when you get in there, you can do that. You know what I'm saying?
And I believe I saw a pro now for about 3 months. It was earlier this year that you made the pro debut.
Yeah. We were actually going to do it before then. We were going to do it in last April of 2021, I guess it would be. But with the rules, and they were going to do it in Lubbock. So the rules in Texas were like you had to sequester the fighters in hotel rooms because, all the COVID protocol and stuff. So I don't think there was much, there wouldn't be much meat and potatoes left hanging for the promotion. So, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So they shut us down, and then New Mexico opened up, and their rules are a little different. So I'm glad that we've been able to accept fights over there now. So that's what we're doing.
And
so to answer your question, August 7th was the pro debut.
And Ira's joining us from Lubbock, Texas right now, about to get some sparring in, so we won't keep you on too long. But little background, how long have you been around this boxing game for?
Man, I started boxing in 1999 with a club called the Lubbock Warriors here in Lubbock. And shout out to them for letting me be a part of their gym. They're still doing their thing. They got a good amateur program. They win a lot of fights. They always produce national champions and stuff like that. So I've been around a lot of good fighters, and my godfather is actually former world champion Orlin Norris. He got in some trouble and decided that a good way for him to step back from the shadows or whatever would be to start coaching youth boxing. And I was actually like his first youth boxer when he came back in 2000. And since I was a kid, man, I've been going to pro fights with him. He also had pro fighters. I've been around a lot of talented dudes and stuff like that. So I'm kind of long in the tooth, to be honest. I'm still in my rookie season. This is my first year as a pro, but I've been boxing, so to speak, since 1999.
What is it about this game that's kept you in it for so long, kept you traveling the roads, chasing this dream?
Man, to be honest, my dad boxed in the Navy, but also, I'm only 5'8", 5'8.5" if I'm wearing high heels, I guess, 5'8.5", 5'9", if I'm wearing my wife's heels. But saying that to say this, I was never really the dude in team sports. Football, they kind of have a size prototype. Basketball, it's a good thing to be big. So even though I'm not the worst athlete around, boxing and the weight class and the weight limitations and stuff it was easier for me to have some success and also kind of find my place. You know what I'm saying? So I just ran with it, man. And also, like, I don't mind getting hit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember my last semester at Tech, I took a social issues and sport class, and boxing is really a poor man's sport. You got to be a little crazy and a little bit blue collar to be down with squaring off and getting punched in the face and doing it for fun or as a sport, so to speak. So it kind of just fit my personality and stuff like that. And also, man, I'm a little old school. Those are the guys that I looked up to. You know what I'm saying? The guys that were the grunts. Like my favorite football team, even though I'm from Texas, is the Detroit Lions, and they don't win anything. So A, they need fans, but B, I remember being a kid watching Barry Sanders. He's a little guy. He's only like 5'9", running all over the field with no offensive line, with nothing. He had a lot of heart. He always battled and didn't get a lot of credit and didn't get a lot of accolades. And, again, it kind of just fit my personality. I always made tackles and stuff playing football. I mean, I started, but I knew I wasn't going to college. Again, there's a certain size prototype they look to. Either that or you got to be really fast, and I'm neither. So, I was kind of just the guy willing to put his face in somebody's helmet and hold on tight. And it was just easier for me to have success here and to continue doing it because they don't give boxing scholarships at most universities. I know some do. You know, shouts out to Terry Green. He's the head coach at the Air Force Boxing Academy, and they have like a cadet boxing program up there. But everybody is actually like military personnel at that school. You know, a lot of guys aren't getting drafted to the NFL off the Air Force football team. Not to take anything from them, you know, just saying. So this is always kind of identified to me.
When did you know that you were going to want to make a professional run at boxing?
I always wanted to, man. But I kind of took some time off. When I started running again, and I got to where I could run multiple miles, quite a bit of miles, enough miles where people are like, dude, you're crazy running that much. But saying that to say this, I lost some weight and I started sparring again against ranked amateurs and guys that were pros and stuff. And I was doing all right. And I was like, hey, maybe I can still do this. You know, you're only as young as you feel or as old as you feel, whichever way you want to frame it. So saying that to say this, I was like, man, maybe it's not too late. And I don't think it is. I don't have any grand aspirations. We're just going to take it fight to fight. And as long as I can do it and I'm healthy, I'm going to continue to do it, man, because I love it. It's already ugly. You know what I'm saying? My nose is already a little twisted and bent. So, you know.
What's the excitement like getting told second pro fight, main event?
Man, it's dope. It's dope. First of all, getting to be the main event, but also even beyond that, being the B-side because I get to play the villain. I'm going into his hometown. To be honest, not to take anything from my opponent, but like, I'm not worried. Not saying he can't fight or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter if a dude can fight or can't fight. Like, we already agreed to punch on each other. So saying that to say this, like, I don't feel like there's anything to lose for me. You know what I'm saying? He's 6 years younger. In terms of inactivity, he hasn't fought since 2019. This is going to be my third fight, actually, or fourth. I had a couple amateur fights last year before I decided to go pro. So, and I've been pretty active, and I always fight good competition. I fought a lot of national champions. I'm not going to name drop, but there's guys that are now pros that came out of the last Olympic cycle that went toe-to-toe with in the amateurs, and they're like, some of them are signed to Eddie Hearns. Some are signed to, they're on the zone, and they're undefeated, and they're actually being talked about for, like, title runs. So just the experience I got and the guys I'm around and the training I get, it's actually fun. It's exciting and it's scary, but it's like roller coaster exciting and scary. You know what I mean? It's not like terrifying. It's not like anything that'll be chilling. This dude's got 2 arms like I do. He's the same weight as I am, and I'm just stoked, man. I'm ready to go. And also, you know, you being the one that gets all the credit when you win, also it helps. Not that I'm a glory seeker or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying. What's up, Serge? You doing that, brother? But yeah, man, just that it all goes into play when it factors into the reason I love this game so much. And then again, I know that I want to stay active because I know it's only a limited amount of time I can continue to do this. George Foreman won the world championship at 45. Bernard Hopkins fought till he was 52. But realistically speaking, and hopefully I can fight till I'm 62. But I doubt that's going to happen. So I'm just trying to get it in while I can. And I just feel really blessed to still be able to do this and then be able to do it in the close proximity to where I live in Lubbock, you know. It's also
right,
a beautiful
you're crossing the border, but you're not the farthest away. This isn't the farthest hometown or out-of-town opponent, but it still sounded like you got excited, reveling in that, being the B-side, possibly hearing some of those boos.
Oh, yeah. Again, man, it kind of goes back to that underdog mentality, and then that's why I root for the Detroit Lions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I feel like it's easy to cheer for LeBron James. It's easy to cheer for a team like the Dallas Cowboys, you know, that has 5 Super Bowls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But to see the frowns on everybody's faces when Dallas, I'm not going to say like, but when Detroit would occasionally beat Dallas and you know, you see everybody down and everything, Yeah, it does add a little cherry to the top of the sundae, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely down to play the foil. Uh, I've been an underdog my whole life. You know, from back to the point I made about being undersized to just everything. You know what I'm saying? I've been to prison, and not saying that matters. You know, but I definitely know how it feels to lose in life and in sports. So I'm so with it.
What does it look like Saturday night, that main event? What does the fight look like?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Every fight that I've seen of this dude, including his last fight when he actually beat a guy that was training out of Lubbock, he didn't go backwards very much. So that's sort of my train of thought. You know what I mean? I mean, and I love going forward. I don't want to reveal too much of my game plan or whatever, but it's hard for anybody to fight going backwards. It's hard to gain leverage. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try to keep the proximity close. I was going to say keep it close, but I'm not going to try to keep it close at all. You know what I mean? But I'm going to try to stay close to him and make him uncomfortable, and I want to see how he reacts. From what I've seen, he's athletic. He likes to jab. He's real bouncy, and I'm going to try to be right in front of him, coming from all angles, and hopefully it makes him uncomfortable, and it's something he's not used to seeing, and that'll be enough to tilt the edge in my favor.
It should be an exciting main event. Ira, gonna let you get to sparring. Joined by Michael Andrews, joining us right now from the works in Hobbs. Sir, thank you for the time. It's fight week. How you doing?
Feeling great. Feeling real focused, man. We got a good team right now. It's kids class going down to my gym, so I try to come down, help out when I can, and get warm before men's class, because I'm getting a little up there in age, so these muscles got to get warmed up before we get going.
Saturday night's fight night. You're in the main event. What does this week look like for you?
It's been looking pretty good. I took the week off from work. I'm doing real good on weight. I'm only a few pounds off. Cardio's, on point. Mine's on point. My coaches are there for me. So, so far it's looking good, man. It's feeling good as well.
The card's had some changes to it. How did you feel when you see you're the main event?
Well, Mario's my boy. We're both out of Hobbs, so I was upset to see him hurt. I never want to see anyone down or out of a fight. So it wasn't. I know it wasn't earned, but I'm going to prove that I deserve to be up there. With them all. So it is what it is. My boy's he'll be back. So it's all good.
How do you take advantage of this opportunity presented that everybody will be there to see you at the end of the night?
Take advantage by taking that W any way I can. Take TKO, KO. Like I had an interview, not an interview, a press conference the other day, and he said a man down. So I'm glad he's got the same idea. I'm not going to wait and leave it in the judges' hands. We're going out there to bang. We're going to go make it a main event show, that's for sure.
I spoke with Ira earlier, and he understands fully. He's coming across that state line from Lubbock to Hobbs. He knows he's going into enemy territory. How does it feel to know and even have the opposition recognize you're going to have that crowd support, and it's a passionate fan base?
I like that I'm fighting Ira. He's a real confident fighter, very respectful. But I know that I don't take that lightly. I know that he's still coming to bang. He's still coming to fight real hard. So it's good to know that I'm in my hometown, but it's good to know also that it's not an easy fight for me. You know what I mean? It's going to be a challenge. And I always like challenges. I always step up to them, so it's a good thing, man.
Well, talk to me about that, about challenging yourself and liking to do so.
Man, it all comes from high school. I was, top running back. I played a lot of sports, and, I got cancer when I was 16, so I had to fight back. I couldn't just lay down and let it get me. So ever since then, I've always just had an urge and just always a drive. When something challenged me, like, cancers, so world events, I just push back. And I've always won. So it's a good feeling knowing that I have that in me to always push back and not lay down.
Obviously, then, having always exude that fighter, warrior mentality, I couldn't imagine at 16 getting some news like that.
Yeah, it was kind of rough, but I had a real good support system. Hometown, a lot of people showed love. My family were involved in the hospitals already, so we were able to get the best care. Years in time, I've been in remission, and, that's almost, 10 years ago, 13 years ago. So, it still, resonates with me to always fight and always to push forward. So, I almost appreciate that circumstance. I know no one, that sounds kind of crazy, who would want cancer, but I would imagine if I wouldn't have had to push through that, I wouldn't have known what it's like to fight and grind through something that's tough. So, I definitely, appreciate God for getting me through that and, putting that warrior mentality in my heart and my spirit.
Now let's touch on where you are. You said the Works, Section 8 boxing. How long have you been a part of that family?
I've been here for about going on 13 years. I haven't left. I started karate a while ago, a few years prior to it, and I kept getting in trouble for hitting too hard. So I figured, man, this ain't for me if I'm hitting too hard. So I came down here, man, and it's been a family ever since. Ever since the first day, it just felt natural. I was just like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do in my life. I can do this.
What has it been about boxing, combat sports that's connected with you?
Man, I'm not gonna be. Everyone's had a rough life. Everyone's had, a tough way growing up. But I'm originally from New York, and I've always had to fight and grind to just survive out there, man. So it's instilled with me since I was a child, and it's almost a part of me. You know what I mean? I think God just bred me to not be someone who lays down and turns the other cheek. You know what I'm saying? I always push back, and you're always gonna. If you challenge me, it's gonna be a challenge.
So totally off topic. What part of New York are you from?
Buffalo, New York.
Oh, all right. I know some people are from Buffalo. My mom and my dad grew up Jackson Heights in Queens.
Okay, yeah, we're over there in Western New York. You know what I mean? A little bit on that border. And they like to say country, but I wasn't from the country part of Buffalo. You know what I mean? I was part of the city part. Actually, my boy is coming down from Buffalo to come do my walkout performance. My boy Jay Nash. We grew up. We used to run around together and fight and getting things. Not do the best decisions, but it made us who we are today. And I linked up with him and I was like, man, I heard you're doing your thing in rapping. You need to come down and you need to come down and walk me out, bro. I'm the main event. This is perfect. So we flew him. He's flying himself out, and we're gonna he's gonna come show a real good performance and show what it's like up east. You know what I'm saying? I know we down south, all respect. You know what I mean? But at heart, I'm still up there, man. You know what I mean?
But that's real cool. That sounds like that's going to be a moment, something real special there for the hometown.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They get to see a little bit of from the snow. You know what I mean? Down here, it's real warm all the time, and I love it. My bones love it. I absolutely love the sunshine down here. The people, man. But up there, it's cold, man. It makes you a little harder. It makes you just a little harder being cold 8-9 months out of the year.
I was going to ask you about that. You stole it from me. Talk about that toughness, because that Canada border right there. I've been up in the New York mountains, and I saw snow in September, and that's when I was coming back to New Mexico.
Yeah, I gotta forget that. I visit very rarely because of that, man. I love this heat. It's God's sent. I get definitely God's country, as they say.
What was that like, though? Does it feel like it does add to the toughness, having to overcome those hard, long winters?
Yeah, yes, sir. Because like I said, my family, my dad's always been a fighter as well. He's always grinding through whatever situation he's been presented with, and sometimes we don't got heat. Sometimes we don't have those things to keep us warm in the winter. You know what I mean? So it just kind of makes you a little grittier. Like, man, I want to, you know what I mean? I wish I had a little, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. When I see people, warm and whatnot, but we push through that, and I feel like that's what New York definitely put that little bit of fighter in me. I definitely think that I've lived a lot of places, but that's where I've definitely got my grind on for sure.
Saturday night fighting Herrera, talked to him, and he's been around this game for about 22 years. You've had about 13, it sounds like. So both of you guys have had a lot of experience. What do you think from this main event fight? What are we going to see Saturday?
A lot of boxing. I know I'm going out to box. I'm not going to go out there and slug and make myself look foolish. I'm going to go out and show the skills of my coaches having to deal with me. They've worked with me over 13 years. I've polished my tools, and I'm ready to go bring my tools to work. You know what I mean? I'm just ready to go show out and put on a boxing mat and put on a boxing lesson on me. No disrespect to Ira, but I'm gonna teach him some things about boxing. I know he's been around for 22 years. You know what I mean? But that's cool. I learned a lot. Out here. So I know I got a little skills for him. Like I said, I had a few fights that you can look up on YouTube, and you can try to identify me, on those things. But I'm not the same fighter. I'm not that same guy. So I wouldn't even watch those fights. I wouldn't even do that to yourself because you're going to be real surprised. Like, oh, there's a whole new guy in here. What the heck?
Now, you do have the advantage when it comes to professional bouts. You have a couple more. You're coming off of a positive result the last time you fought. What does that do for the mindset coming in off of a win?
Just because, I mean, I like to put that in the past. I put that in the past because I don't want to get too confident and feel like, oh, I'm winning, I'm doing good. Every fight is a new fight. It's always 0-0 on that fight. I always grind like I'm just starting, I got something to prove. So that, I mean, a lot of fighters will ride off of their wins and feel comfortable with that, and I won't feel comfortable. I don't like to be comfortable. So I won't sit there and be like, man, yeah, I won last time, I got to train that hard. I got to train even harder, I feel, because I feel like I'm debuting again.
You fought in LA, you fought in El Paso.
Yes,
Is it different fighting in Hobbs where you live?
Gives you a little more fight because when you go out of town, like no one knows you. You walk out, you got people cussing at you, you got people going against you. But out here, you got people you see every day, you got people you run into every day, and you see them out there, and you want to put on for them. You don't want them to go, dang, that's, oh man, so, okay, you see them at Struggle. We're a small town, so I see these people every day. So I don't know how I'm gonna look at them in the face and be like, I didn't give it my all. So I want to when I see them, they say, hey man, that was a dang good fight. You put it on. So that's you know what I mean. It gives me a little more drive for sure fighting at home.
Sure, this is going to be a big answer, but a little bit. What do you love about this journey, about going through this boxing career?
Discipline, man. If it wasn't for boxing, who knows where I would be? You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy and be like, boxing saved my life, but boxing has kept me out of a lot of situations where I've been at the gym and things have happened where my homeboys or my situation, something's happened to them, and I'm like, dang, I could have just as well been there. But instead, I've dedicated myself to show up every time, show up on time, and just keep myself focused so I don't end up like that. Because as a young child, I made some mistakes. As a man, I've made some mistakes, and I refuse to. If you make the same mistake twice, that's on you. So I can't keep making the same mistakes and foolish mistakes. So it brought discipline to my life. It's brought me a lot of things, good things. It's brought me more good than bad. So I got to keep doing it. I've only got bad from the streets. So why keep doing that? That's just my mentality about it. But everybody's different. You know what I mean?
Feels like it's not just about fighting then. So there's a little bit extra coming from you. You also, sounds like, want to promote that message.
Yeah, yes, sir. Because there's a lot of kids that come to our gym, and I know some of them have good situations, some of them have different situations. I want them to know, regardless of what you come from, this will build discipline. This will build good things in your life. When you're at your job and you're having someone, it's not even have someone, but you're just going through a tough situation at work and you can't figure it out. You can dig deep and go, okay, I know where to dig for that. I know where to go look for that. Instead of going, people panic and they don't know what to do because they've never been in a situation. So it helps you, dig, and it helps you learn how to react in those situations.
It's a great message. It's been a great conversation. Michael Andrews, I thank you for the time, sir.